Okay, I think I'm live now. I should be. So, welcome everyone to another YouTube live session. And I'm going to wait a few seconds or a few minutes for more people to join. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm sorry for my voice. I do have a little bit of a little cold, so if my voice is a little bit scratchy, that's why it sounds like that. Yeah, so today we are going to create a layout with the flower market collection. So it's all about spring colors today, and I'm very excited because I'm completely over winter, and yeah. As always, we are giving away a $15 gift card. Hi, Leah. So today, Leah is behind the Pinkfresh Studio name. So yeah, we are giving away a $15 gift card to one person. All you have to do is be active in the chat, give us a thumbs up on the video, share the video, and for everything you do, leave a comment in the chat so that we know and that you get another entry. And then at the end of this live session, Leah is going to randomly pick a winner and we're going to announce them. Yeah, and if there are any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will try to answer. And if I don't see something, Leah can also jump in. And if I don't answer and Leah doesn't answer, it's probably just because we didn't see it. So just ask again and we will make sure to answer your questions. Okay, so let me switch the camera real quick. And also, please keep your fingers crossed for me that today the technology gods are in my favor and not trying to give me a heart attack 10 minutes before ending this video. So let's hope everything goes over smoothly. Yeah, as you can see, I have the flower market collection here. And one quick comment about the video quality. I know that my camera keeps autofocusing. I can't turn it off right now because apparently my my software of my MacBook is too old, so I can't download the software for my webcam. But I hope it's not too annoying. Yeah, that it keeps autofocusing. All right, so what I have in mind, first of all, I'm going to show you the pictures that I want to use. And today I picked, so I have 3 pictures here of my son. And on 2 pictures, there's also our dog. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use all 3 of them, but definitely those 2. And yeah, I will see if this one fits in because as you can see, it's a different perspective. And, you know, on these pictures, he's a little bit smaller and then here he's bigger and obviously a different perspective. So I'm not sure if that's going to bug me too much, but we will see. And then what I wanted to do, so my first idea was that I wanted to use lots of circles on my page and incorporate these chipboard flair, for example, the enamel dots and some dies. And then I started playing around with it and I will use one of the circle dies, but it won't end up being circles on my layout and we'll see why. And I'm sorry for the glare of the light on these packagings. I will try to get everything out so that it doesn't, yeah, that is not too annoying. Okay, so what I did when I started playing around was I used this die here. It's the inverted stitched scallop circles, and it's just this outline die. So you could also use like a nested circle die you have, or you know, any circle die or circle cutter. And I basically just, you know, cut a circle from a pattern paper that I had, and then also one from white cardstock, because I wasn't sure yet if I want to mix all of these different patterns or what. So what I want to do is, so you can see here I have these circles, and then what I did was I cut a piece of cardstock or pattern paper, whatever it is, to 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So it's a square, which is roughly, the inside size of the circle. And what I did was I placed it on my pattern paper circle, and then just started tucking those flaps in like this. And then you get these squares, obviously. So from circles, we are going to create squares. And what I wasn't too sure about yet was if I want to have, so I want to have probably 9 squares. So it's probably going to be a grid design. And I know Natalie did a grid design last week with her hearts, but that's just what I came up with. So we are going to do another grid design. They are always great. They always work well. So yeah, so I'm probably going to use 9, like 3 in a row. And as I said, I'm not sure if I want to have 9 pattern paper circles and then maybe slide in a white cardstock square to cover some of the pattern, because otherwise I think it's way too much pattern on here. Or if I want to have white circles and then fill them with pattern paper squares. So these are the 2 options. Going to have a quick look at the comments to see if there are any questions yet. Yeah, so what I'm going to do first, before I decide on, if I want to have white cardstock or pattern paper circles, is I'm going to cut down my photos so that then I know which ones I want to use and where. And what I wanted to show you is a little trick, how you can, when you have to cut down your photos, to make sure that you are going to cut them in a way that they still look nice in the end and that you don't cut up a part of the photo that you didn't want to. So what I did was, basically you could take a piece of acetate, but you could also, and this is something we all have lots of, just take a piece of packaging. So I have, for example, these chipboard frames, and I already used up some of them. So what I did was I just cut a square of this packaging here that measures 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So exactly the size of the square that I need for the inside. And then I can use this as an overlay on my photos and make sure that I cut them down and that I can, this way I can see how I want to cut them. I'm not sure if it shows up on camera too well, but this way you can see, where you are cutting. You could also use vellum, or as I said, acetate, but packaging is something that we all have enough of. And it's a great, use for it before tossing it, I think. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, I'm going to cut down those photos. And I will try to make sure for this one, for example, that my sun is centered. And so I would also like to have my dog on here on this photo, but the thing is, when you put your square inside this little circle square, let's call it like that, and you put these, or you fold those flaps in, you can see that they are going to cover part of your photo. So with my dog just peeking her nose in there, I don't think that I will be able to get them both in here. So this is why I'm going to cut the photo, just so that my sun is centered. So keep this in mind when you cut your photo, that some parts of it are going to be covered. Obviously, when you glue down those flaps, you are going to, it will show even less. If you keep them like this so that they are kind of lift off, then you will see a little bit more, but you have to kind of, move your page to see what's under there. Okay, let's see. Okay, so far no questions, I think. Okay. And you could obviously do this with any size circle die you have or you want. I tried it with this one and it worked out great. Like the size on the page on a 12 by 12 layout. But you could also go larger and have just like 4 circle squares on your layout, or you could go even smaller. But then obviously your photo would also be smaller. Sorry. Okay, so here it's pretty easy that I'm just going to cut, like, I'm not going to cut in the middle of the photo, but this acetate or kind of, yeah, acetate square helps me see if it's really going to look the way I want it to. And for this one, see here, I actually have to kind of cut something off both sides to make sure that the head of my sun is centered in the photo or in this kind of circle square thing. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to use this photo, but I have to kind of see it and place it inside one of those circles to make sure if I like it or not. Okay. And now I'm going to show you what I mean with that. So here, let's take this one. Now you can see the nose of or like the head of my dog, but if I put it like this, then it's going to be covered. So just keep that in mind. And okay. Oh, and one more thing is when I placed the square inside, I really just eyeballed it, like where the center is, and then just started pushing those flaps down. I didn't measure anything. I didn't use a bone folder or anything. So these are not going to be perfect. You could obviously also measure it, but you know, I'm not going to do that. Too lazy for that. And I think that in the end, you won't even notice it. Okay, so one more thing now. So what I might do is, as I said, I'm going to have a grid design of 9 circles. And I might place the photos like this in a row. But what I also like is do it like this so that it's not too symmetrical. And one more thing I wanted to do is I wanted to keep it kind of not really monochromatic, but I don't want to use any green or blue on this layout, probably. I kind of want to keep in this orange, light pink, maybe yellow color scheme. Hi, Natalie. So I already had kind of a look through the ephemera pieces and also already picked out like the pieces that are in this color scheme. I will probably use green, but only for leaves, because there are lots of, I mean, the collection is called Flower Market, so there are lots of floral ephemera pieces. There's even a floral ephemera pack. So I will use green for that, but I don't want to use green in the pattern papers. So I already picked out, as you can see, like this orange, it's kind of salmon pink color, and maybe yellow, but I'm not too sure about that one. So now when I'm going to cut the pattern papers, I already know what to look for. So I'm not going to use this one. This was just a test run. So this paper here would be perfect on both sides, actually. And this is one of my favorite papers from the collection. Unfortunately, I already cut off the manufacturer strip, so I don't know the name of this paper, but you can see that both sides have like the colors that I'm going for. And then actually there's lots of papers in here with green and blue. So it would have been easier to pick green and blue as my colors, but anyway. Let's see. So this one here could work. It has yellow on this side. It does have blue in the flowers, but this probably wouldn't bother me too much, but we will see. And then here's one that's just white and gray, and the other side is also perfect for my color scheme. So definitely going to use this paper. This one, this one, this one. So this makes selecting the papers really easy and quick. Nope. This is just kind of gray, light gray dots on white. So maybe this one. Let's see. This could work, but then when you fold these flaps off the circle, some of the flowers will be upside down. So I'm not sure if I like that. So probably not going to use this. And this one, I really like this one. It's probably my second favorite paper. But then it does have blue and green everywhere, so I probably won't be able to avoid it. But I'm not going to discard it just yet, because I like it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut 2 circles of the 2 papers that I definitely want to use. And then before I cut even more circles from pattern papers, I will try to decide if I want to have white circles with pattern paper inside or the other way around. Because I don't want to waste the beautiful pattern papers. Naturally, I always save my paper scraps. I always do. I'm thrifty. So yeah, you're not the only one. And besides, especially with die cutting, even the smallest pieces are still usable for something. So nope, I'm not gonna get rid of the scraps. Because for a layout, for example, for this layout, as I said, the inside squares measure 2.5 by 2.5 inches. So this is a relatively small scrap you could use for that. You don't need to cut into a whole sheet of pattern paper for that. Okay. And then this one right here. And I don't really want to use up this paper, but then again, both sides are perfect. So I don't know what to do. I probably just need another pack of pattern papers for this collection. Or the 6x6 paper pad, which would be great for a layout like this. But unfortunately, I don't have it here, or I don't have one, so I have to use the 12x12 papers. Okay. I hope I didn't miss any questions. As I said, if you don't get an answer, just ask again. I really am liking the look of these, all of these. So, and all of the sides actually. So I'm probably going to cut both of those papers again, so I can use both sides. And what I was also thinking is that maybe I'm going to combine them, like the white circle with the pattern paper insides and the other way around, and have like maybe the pattern paper circles to hold my photos. So that could be an option, because then these would kind of draw your attention to the photo. I think that's how I imagine it's going to look. And I'm sorry if it's a bit shaky. The camera is a bit shaky while I'm doing the die cutting, but I have my camera stand like right there. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to avoid that. Okay, maybe I will keep those three for the moment, because as I said, I might do the pattern paper circles for the photos, and there, for those I would need 3. So where do I have my photos? Here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you, as I said, what I do is I simply place the square inside, kind of try to get it centered so that all of the flaps will be equal, but I'm not too worried about it. So if it's a little bit off, that's fine with me. And I'm not, as you can see, I don't score anything. I just push the paper up against my photo and then just fold it. I hope you can kind of see that on camera. So like this. And I like that already, like the pattern paper as kind of the frame for my photos. I like that. And then going to do this one. Again, trying to get it centered. Okay, here's one thing that I didn't think of. So this paper here, this pattern here, does have like these lines and is symmetrical. So when you just fold it like this, it's going to be crooked. And I'm not sure if this is going to bother me. So I will finish folding this. And if it's too bad, I can switch it with this one, because this one I did actually a little bit like more evenly, more symmetrical. But does it bother me? It probably does. So yeah, I can't explain why some things I don't really care about, you know, if it's perfect or not. And then other things I do. I don't know. But yeah. So this paper also has kind of a symmetry, but it's not as noticeable. So I think I prefer it like this. So if you have a paper that has a very symmetrical pattern, then make sure that you keep that in mind when folding the flaps. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah. Oh, hi, Heather. Okay, so Heather's taking over for Leah now. Oh, and she got home from the dentist. I hope you feel, you don't feel too bad. Fun fact, I actually like going to the dentist. I never had any problems with going to the dentist. Even as a kid, I like going to the dentist. So probably very rare. Okay, so I will fold this one so that the orange paper side shows up, because I think it looks good with the other two also being kind of pink and orange, just making sure it's not symmetrical, the pattern. And I think I will have to close my door. I'm not sure if you can hear my son. He's crying, so his my husband is trying to put, you know, to get him to sleep, but he's not having it. So I'm not sure if you can hear that. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking, kind of like this, and then fill the rest with, maybe with the white circles, and then fill the insides with pattern paper. So I will show you in a second. Let's see. See, I can use this right here. So I'm just going to cut a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. And then you can pop it in like this. And then you have the pattern peek through. And what I also want to do with, some of the insides is kind of fill them with embellishments. So like the enamel dots or the chipboard flare, but I will use those probably on top of the pattern papers. So let's go ahead. I already did some prep work. I did cut some white cardstock circles already because I thought that even if I'm not going to use them on this layout, they will come in handy for something. So that, I wouldn't have to spend too much time cutting, during this live session. So what I'm going to do now is I will cut down some more pattern paper squares. I will do another one of these, or one of those with the light gray dots. And this one it's not a full 2.5 inches, but when you fold it down like this, it probably won't be noticeable. So let's see if I can make it work. So I'm just going to cut one of the sides to 2.5 inches. The other measures kind of like 2.25 inches, but we will see if this is enough. Okay, so just making sure that I'm using an actual square now to fold and not this one, because then the circle will be crooked, or the frame, or the circle square, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to stick with circle square. Make sure that you push your square up against the edge before you start folding another flap. So it, because it kind of shifts around. Okay, so here, if I put it like this and secure it in the center, you won't even see that it's not 2.5, that it's not a perfect square. So I'm liking this. And I will probably try to, let's see, I probably will repeat those two patterns because I like how subtle they are against these very bright and colorful frames. So let's see. I will try one of the floral though, because I like this paper. So let's see if it works with this or not. And I could have tried to, get a piece of this paper where it's mostly yellow, pink, and orange and not blue, but it is what it is. So let's see. Going to keep folding so that we can then continue with embellishing these circle squares. So it actually kind of highlights the blue because it's in the center, but you know what? I like it. I didn't want to include any blue, but I think it's okay. So maybe I will also get away with using this paper, but with this one, I'm actually going to try to find a piece where at least I don't have any green. So probably this right here should work. The circles are, Jennifer, let's see. The circle die is about, 3 3/4 inches, roughly. Yeah, in diameter. So you end up with like the circle square frames are a little bit bigger than 2.5 inches, so that the inside then measures 2.5 inches. But as I said, you could use any circle die you have. You know, you could also just do a test run with one and then just fold it to see if you like the size that you end up with, if you know what I mean. So this one here is also not a perfect square, but as I said, you won't be able to see that. So let's see if this works as well. And you could also just, you know, kind of glue this, the square in place, so you don't have to make sure that it doesn't move around. But since I don't know if I want to add anything to them or do anything to them that I would need to take them out for, I'm going to keep them loose for the moment. And I think I will keep this because it repeats the blue from this flower paper. So let's see. So we need 2 more. I have 2 more white circles here. And what I also wanted to show you is how you can make use of this paper here, of this. This is the front of this, or like the cover of the 12 by 12 paper pack. And I always love using these for my projects. There are so many different ways you can make use of this. You could use it just for the white side and use it for die cutting, or even as a, you know, as your white cardstock background. But you can also make use of those small squares, and layout like this is perfect actually, because it's also, the patterns are also kind of sized down. So what I'm going to do is, I want another subtle one, so I'm probably going to use this one that I also used for the circle. So we'll cut this one apart. And they don't measure 2.5 inches, so they are a little bit smaller, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to cut this by hand because, you know, you won't be able to see the if the edges are a little bit crooked. But again, for folding the circles, using a perfect square. And I'm sorry, the white on white probably doesn't show too well, but this will be done in a second. Okay, so this one, and I'm going to go ahead and fold the last one as well. And I think I'm good on time. So as I said, if the technology gods are on my side this week, then I should actually be able to finish a layout for once in one of these live sessions. So keeping my fingers crossed. So you can see this one here, it doesn't fill the whole, the square completely, but when you fold it down like this, you won't even see it. So perfect use for this cover paper right here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use for the last one. Thank you, Natalie. Yeah, I am keeping my fingers crossed that everything works out just fine. So let's see. I'm kind of trying to find one that has another little bit of blue in it, so that I have 3 squares that repeat the blue, because I like to have things in uneven numbers and in 3s. So this is what I'm thinking right now, and why I'm taking a little bit of time. So I want something, but I don't want to repeat the stripes or the flowers, because then it would be too obvious that there are two of the same and one other. I'm not sure if I explain myself very well, and you might think I'm completely nuts, but that's what's going on in my mind right now. So I might use this, even though it doesn't have anything to do with my photo. Let's see. I will keep it there for the moment. I'm not sure if I'm happy with this, if I will keep it, but for the time being, that's what it looks like. Okay, so I think I can put the pattern papers to the side for now. Let's see. Oh, what else? I also thought about using one of these stickers. I actually could have saved this paper and just used the sticker right here. I did think of that when I kind of had a look through the collection beforehand, but obviously I forgot. So let's see. This one here, it says "so cute," would be perfect actually. So maybe I can use this to repeat the flowers and then not use this right here. It also has the blue. Okay, so I'm going to try the polka dot one. I know I already have this one, but this is scaled down because it's from the cover paper, so maybe it works. And if I put something on top, you know, so that it's just kind of a frame, maybe you won't notice. I will hold off on this sticker. I'm not too sure about it yet. So before I continue with the pattern papers, because I did want to fill some of these squares with embellishments. So maybe, you know, in the end, it doesn't really matter what pattern paper I have in there if I fill it with embellishments. I'm just going to grab the ones that I pulled out beforehand that match my color scheme. Because I had two different sets of photos in mind for this layout, and the other would have actually gone in the direction of blue and green. It was a pool photo. And then I picked these embellishments here for these photos. So they are from 3 different embellishment packs: the ephemera, the floral ephemera, and the vellum ephemera, I think. But it also shows in the supply list in the, you know, in the caption below the video. And then, as I said, I did want to use some of these flare. So I might use one of those to bring in the blue again. So this one here says family, and this one says love this. So maybe one of those. And what I like to do when I'm not sure if I'm, you know, if I want to use a sticker, is just cut it out from the packaging, and then I can kind of place it where I think I want it to go, but I can also move it. So maybe I'm going to fill one of the squares with 4 of those chipboard flare that repeat the colors of my layout. And then so I actually wouldn't want to use 3 that have writing on it, but I don't have another one in the, you know, in the perfect color for this. So I'm not sure. Or maybe just a basket of flowers. That could also work. So it's not placed perfectly right now. I'm just, just trying things out. Exactly. I'm auditioning the pieces. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, and I definitely wanted to use one of these layered stickers. Probably my favorite ephemera or embellishment pack of the collection, together with the chipboard flare and the chipboard frames. And I gotta be honest, in the past, I always liked the look of the chipboard frames, but I didn't really know what to do with them. But since last year, when I did one of the classes of the Scrapbook Create and Connect event from Pinkfresh Studio, where I created a double page layout with chipboard frames as like the main element, I am absolutely loving chipboard frames now. And, kind of lots of different things and ideas come to mind when I look at them. So yeah, now I'm actually a fan of chipboard frames, like a big fan. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to use the heart. I was also thinking of one of those, but then again, they wouldn't show up. And maybe if I put one inside, like this. Do it like this. So right now I'm just, again, auditioning, trying things out, seeing if it works. Using this cover paper here even more to back this piece of, or this frame. So another use for these cover papers, just use them for backing stickers and frames. So this would actually cover up the blue, but then again, I like the blue. So maybe on a different one, on this one. And then have like a floral piece. Just like this. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I have to admit that when I got the assignment to do a double page layout with the Simply the Best collection for the event, at first I was a bit stumped and I was like, okay, a masculine kind of layout and a double page layout, that's kind of double whammy for me. And I told Kinnery, so the boss of Pinkfresh Studio, that she gave me a challenge. But in the end, I absolutely loved how it turned out. And I always like how the Pinkfresh Studio products kind of push me out of my comfort zone sometimes, because sometimes there are things that at the first glance, they're nice, but they don't grab me, or I think I'm not going to use those. And in the end, they are often the ones that I use first. So yeah. So as I said, I was pleasantly surprised by my double page frame layout for the event. And also, friendly reminder, the registration for the next event, scrapbooking event, in May, at the end of May, is open until, I think, until Sunday. Please correct me, Heather, if I'm talking nonsense, but I think it's open until Sunday. So make sure you register if you are interested. It's going to be a lot of fun. I absolutely loved the last event, and I also did all of the projects that the other ladies created for their workshops or for their classes. I also did those and I had a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I want to go like this, like if I want to have lots of florals or if I want to keep it kind of contained to those circle squares. So I'm again trying things out. So happy to read that so many of you enjoyed the last event and are already signed up. You won't regret it. I haven't seen the new collections that we're going to use, but I'm sure they will be beautiful. So if you are not familiar with the event package or kit includes 3 brand new collections that haven't been sold before. You are the first ones that get to work with them before they are then released to retailers and shops. So, and you get lots of other goodies, swag, 5 different projects in the live classes and 5 make and takes. So I think it's a lot of inspiration. And I'm not just saying it because I'm one of the teachers. I really genuinely enjoyed it. I had a blast. So I think it is open through Sunday. Yeah. But if you're not sure, check the Pinkfresh Studio website. It has all the information. And one thing that I wanted to mention is that if you are an international, especially someone from the EU, then there's another perk for you because you don't have to pay any customs. So you will pay your shipping cost when ordering the workshop or the event. When you place your order with Pinkfresh Studio, but then you won't have any hassle with customs. You won't pay any customs fees. That's all going to be done for you already. So, I think that's great. Exactly. So last time we also got the Jeff Alpha dies, and they are, I mean, they are big. It's a big pack of dies that would cost you, I don't know, around I think $40 retail, and you get it in your kit. So what more do you want? Okay, so I think I will keep one of the squares kind of open without putting any embellishments on it, probably this one, so I can add some journaling later on here, because this is obviously the one that's the most neutral, so it will show the journaling best. Okay, so I will commit now. I will start sticking down those squares. Oh no, probably first the inside, and then squares I will pop up with foam tape. And I see that I have about 12-15 minutes left, so I will probably do the foam tape part off camera later, because that's not too exciting to watch. So now I'm just using a tape runner, because since the squares are going to be held in place kind of, by this circle square frame, I'm not too worried about using like double-sided adhesive or anything. So I'm fine with just using this tape runner, and I'm actually going to use all 3 photos. So it doesn't bug me too much that they are a different perspective, which at the beginning I thought it would, but I think it's fine. Oh, and I'm not sure if I think I haven't mentioned who the teachers are. I mean, you can obviously get all of the information from the Pinkfresh Studio website, but just in case you're curious right now. So I'm teaching one of the workshops. Paige Evans is teaching one of the workshops. Annette from the Pinkfresh Studio design team. Annette, I think Galencia, but I'm not sure if I pronounced her name correctly. And then Celeste Guia de Manualidades, who is also in the Pinkfresh Studio design team, and Stefanie Ried, who creates gorgeous projects. So I think it's a great lineup. Oh, I'm sorry, Teresa. The Jeff Alpha was in the last event. I'm sorry if I explained that. You know, if that was confusing. So the Jeff Alpha was one of the kit components from last year's event. For this year, you will get different products, but you can have a look on the Pinkfresh Studio website. There's a list of everything that is going to be included in the kit, so you can already get an idea of what that will be. But obviously, you won't know what those products look like right now because, as I said, they haven't been released yet. So you can just kind of, you know, get the names and yeah. So I'm sorry if I explained that wrong. Okay, so now, as I said, I'm just gluing everything in place that I already know that I want to use. I'm going to use some foam squares on this one because I want some dimension. I mean, I obviously have lots of dimension with those flaps already. If this is kind of too much, you could also obviously glue them down. But even if you, if you put this layout in a page protector, it will kind of flatten itself or flatten out by itself. So, you know, I'm not too worried about it. And I actually like the way these flaps kind of pop up. So I think, this one, and I think I'm actually, so this one has already a foam square behind it, but I think I want it to be even more dimensional so that it kind of sticks up behind or from inside this frame. Well, I agree, Teresa. Natalie would be a great teacher as well. But, you know, at least we get her in the YouTube lives. So it's at least, you know, a crumb of comfort that we get to enjoy her lives. Forgot to glue this one down. So sticking this one down. Okay, so I think I like the placement of things. I will keep those squares, you know, where they are right now. But as I said, I'm going to do the whole gluing things down with foam tape off camera, so you don't have to watch that. And then I will do this off camera as well, kind of deliberate if I want to have a little bit of space in between those, or if I want to have them really snug together. I will try to figure that out when I'm not under pressure. But I think the overall design, where things are going, is pretty obvious right now. And you could also use like the glitter dots to fill a whole pocket or, you know, a frame. Sorry. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for a title, because the alpha included in this collection is blue. And even though I have some blue on this page, I don't want to have a blue title. So I might, even though I'm not supposed to mix collections right now, I might cheat. I might use the alpha stickers from the Spring Vibes collection, which is also one of the new ones, because it has the perfect colors. So it has gray, pink, orange, and red letter stickers, alpha stickers. So, you know, I might cheat and use these. Oh, and one more thing. So you can see up here that I have some sewing thread here. So I was also thinking of using one of those and kind of wrapping it around. I know I have been using or doing this a lot on my pages. I think I did it for the last and the one before that, but I just like the look of it. So yeah. And I'm probably going to use the gold because, so I also picked like these colors right here that would go perfectly with it. But I think I'm going to try the gold. And the last times I used like a little bit thicker kind of twine or floss. This one here really is sewing thread, so it's really thin. Yeah. So you could use whatever you have. And I'm going to try it, if I like it or not. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry if I pronounce the name wrong. Jane, I'm sorry. So no, they are they're not silk threads, or are they? Let's see. They are actually, so they go under embroidery thread. I'm not sure if embroidery thread is usually silk. So it's Madeira embroidery thread. But since I'm from Germany, I'm not sure if this brand is available in the US or what a brand usually available to you would be. But you could use any kind of sewing thread. I just like the look of those embroidery ones because they are really shiny. I'm just going to use some washi tape to keep it in place. I'm not sure about this. I will keep it for now, but it might disappear before I take the photos of the final layout. And I will definitely repeat the gold in some way or another if I keep it. So I have these gold pearls, so I might use those to repeat the gold. Or I also have these die-cut words from the fancy script words. These I also used on the page I did last time, so 2 weeks ago, and I think they would work perfectly. So I might, do something like hey, and then complete it with, or combine it with those alpha stickers to spell something like hey cutie, something like that. So, but I'm not going to do this under pressure. Oh, I forgot about those puffy stickers. Let's see. One last look if one of those works. Not sure. So this is what I usually do when I kind of, wrap some string or thread or floss around a paper or something. I use it to tuck things in, to keep things in place. So yeah, I might keep it and do that, but I'm going to fiddle around with it a little bit more after this live. But that's kind of what it is so far. It's not going to change drastically anymore before I take the photos to share. So I'm getting better, I think. I'm closer to the finished layout than I've been in my past 3 YouTube lives. So I think I'm getting there. So I want to keep this one empty for the journaling. I have to keep that in mind because I know myself, and I, probably end up sticking something on it and then completely forget about it. So I'm going to place the hey here just so that I don't forget that I wanted to use this for my title. And then, yeah, you could also do like a thread nest. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Missy Whidden. She does the thread nest a lot. But there are lots of things you could do with the thread. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, that's what it is so far. I'm going to flip the camera now. Because as I said, I'm not going to do the whole gluing things down on camera. That's also a good idea, Tracy, to put a Post-it note where you want your journaling to go so that you don't forget. Yeah, so that's also something you could do. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this layout. I'm going to, as always, finish it and then photograph it and share it on my Instagram and in the Pinkfresh Studio Facebook group, so you can see the finished product or finished project, and all of the details. They will be easier to see on photo than they are now. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's see if Heather has picked the winner. Yeah, Tracy. So Tracy Cannon, you are the winner of the $15 gift card. So please email leah@pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize and give her 2 to 3 days to get back to you. And yeah, thank you very much for joining. As I said, I'm getting closer to having a finished layout at the end of these YouTube lives. So thank you for sticking with me. Thanks to the technology gods for not giving me a heart attack this time. And I hope to see you in 2 weeks. And next week, there will be another YouTube live again with Natalie. So thank you everyone for joining. And thanks, Heather. And now get to rest from your dentist appointment. Take care, everyone. Bye.